Many thanks for staying with In Your Interest. The big Impact AI Summit is still underway, which is why our second segment is dealing with artificial intelligence. Now, the United States says for all of its allies, they should leverage the US AI stack. The Congress party here, the opposition of the day, says that this is pure surrender. The BJP, the ruling dispensation, says it is partnership. When we're talking about AI sovereignty, are we really building it or are we renting it? Let's decode that for all our viewers. We're tracking a high-stakes tug-of-war over the most valuable resource of the 21st century, artificial intelligence and the data that fuels AI. Our story centers on Sri Ramakrishnan, a Chennai-born engineer who has risen to become a senior AI policy advisor at the White House. He played a key role in shaping the July 2025 American AI Action Plan, which describes artificial intelligence as an existential race with China. Returning to his roots this week with a provocative proposition at the AI Impact Summit, Krishnan specifically urged India to leverage US foundational models for its AI growth. He highlighted companies like OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic as global leaders in this space. And according to him, trying to duplicate the US model stack would be economically inefficient for other nations. Instead, he positions the United States and its compute power as the backbone for allied AI ecosystems around the world. Krishnan's vision is simple. The US provides the backbone of compute and foundational intelligence, whilst India builds the local applications on top.
We want to make sure the world uses the American AI stack. And what does that mean? That means from the bottom up, it means our semiconductors and advanced AI chips, NVIDIA, AMD, Google's TPUs, Cerebrus, so on and so forth. Second, we want to make sure the world uses our AI models, all of the companies that I listed above. And third, it uses our applications and builds applications on top. And we want to be sure we are amazing and easy to do a business with, and and that's what we've been really focused on. And we think all of our allies, and India as a key ally, should be leveraging and building on top of this infrastructure.
However, this plug-and-play future is being met with fierce resistance from India's opposition. The Congress party has accused the government of becoming too dependent on US AI infrastructure. They claim this puts India's long-term technological autonomy at risk, with foreign powers gaining hidden control over the country's digital backbone. This criticism comes on the heels of Rahul Gandhi's recent push for stronger data sovereignty during the budget session reply. He described data as India's greatest strategic asset, pointing out that with 1.4 billion citizens, our data holds immense global bargaining power, which is not being leveraged. They point to the hidden grips of infrastructure where the power to turn off the switch or change the rules stays in Washington. It does not stay in New Delhi.
We have handed out our data, given up control over digital trade rules, no data localization, free data flow to USA, limit on digital tax, no source code disclosure, and 20-year tax holiday. The most valuable asset that India has and will ever have has been handed over.
Well, to put this in perspective, let's look at the AI race among Washington, Beijing, and New Delhi. The United States focuses on dominating with its American stack, controlling access to cutting-edge Blackwell GPUs, and promoting market-driven data policies with a free-flow approach. Its key advantage is an annual capital expenditure of $1 trillion. China, on the other hand, pursues state-led rapid scaling and maintains highly centralized state control over data. Its strengths lie in infrastructure and manufacturing, with a firm stance on digital self-sufficiency. India aims for a sovereign by design and inclusive AI strategy, with over 38,000 shared GPUs and a mission to scale further. Our data policy is leveraging a massive talent pool and our 1.4 billion user data set as a key advantage. India's approach seeks self-reliance while staying globally integrated. But this roadmap for India comes with significant risks to our sovereignty. One major concern is cloud dependency, where American firms control over 60% of the market. This leads to infrastructure lock-in. with high costs and technical barriers making it hard to switch away from these platforms. Energy consumption is another issue, as AI data centers can draw more than 1 gigawatt of power, rivaling nuclear plants. There are also strategic choke points such as reliance on American-made chips like GPUs and TPUs for training AI models. And finally, this shift could threaten India's revenue models, especially in labor-intensive outsourcing, as AI automation takes over more jobs in the future. The big questions that we're trying to decode on the broadcast: can India truly maintain strategic autonomy if its most critical AI applications are running on American-made chips and US-owned cloud servers? Is India's 1.4 billion person data set being used as leverage for better trade deals, or is it being handed over without sufficient reciprocal access to American AI source codes? And how should India balance self-reliance with global integration to avoid all of these long-term risks that we're talking about? Kushagra Saxena, spokesperson for the Congress Party; Harsh Dahiya, political analyst, with us on the broadcast; Kanish Gaur, digital technology and AI expert, is soon going to be with us as well. You know, Ms. Saxena, I'm going to come to you first and foremost. Congress Party calls this digital surrender, but you know, let's be a little pragmatic as well. If global tech giants are investing $60 billion in India's digital infrastructure and data sets, isn't that strengthening India's capacity in one way rather than weakening it? I mean, is this strategic autonomy or strategic isolation that the Congress Party is trying to advocate? Everybody's got to play the best hand that they get at that point in time on the gambling seat.
Thank you, Karthik. I just want to address few things here. Like rightly you said that, and we are seeing, like, for example, if I can say that Modi government is a clear threat to the, our country's strategic autonomy. If you see, from ceasefire to trade deal to energy to AI, we are just being turned into America's colonial state. Why they have given a tax-free holiday for next 20 years? I mean, we are the nation of 1.4 billion people. We generate 20% of world's data. Why we are not in a state, to negotiate as per to own our, on our own terms? The thing is this: when it comes to when it comes to dictating something, Indian government is completely seems to be surrendering towards the India and China thing. Oh, sorry, America and China thing.
No, but that's what the BJP is asking. That's what the BJP is asking. How is this a pure surrender? We will have to make do with what we have. We will have to make do with what we have. Look, we don't have the computing technology that the United States has. Can we make those GPUs and TPUs in real time like the United States does? Do we have that kind of cloud agency with us? So when we don't have it, you're either on the train or you're off the train, is what the BJP is saying.
This is the thing, Karthik. Look, this is the
My
thing.
name is Kabir, sir. Just to point that out.
This government is in power since last 12 years. What steps they have taken to build our indigenous sectors when it comes to building GPUs and semiconductor chips? And for example, if I can tell you, the research and development budget, which is the need of the hour in the today's modern warfare and AI world, we spend only 0.6% of GDP. In the I take you back to the UPS time. In between 2004 to 2014, there were news reports regularly coming and flaunting that we will going to take over China in the coming next years. But where are we standing right now when it comes to AI? Like, I am a data scientist professionally, so I can sense the the amount of data we have. I mean, we are the people of 1.4 billion people, and we generate 20% of world's data. So we should not be in the surrender mode in when it comes to US. Every time we are seeing, like I told you earlier.
Okay. You're up, Mrs. Saxena. Let me put it like this. I need to go to the other guests as well. But before I do that, help me understand if I've got this better. We are 1.4 billion in terms of our data set. Maybe we are not leveraging that right. That's what the leader of opposition is also trying to say. But if we were to leverage that right, where does our own AI sovereignty come from? Even if we were using the data set as bargaining chip, and even if we were negotiating right, we would still be using United States' stack. We would still be using their cloud computing agency. So what is the wrong step that the government has taken here?
the government has not built any infrastructure related to artificial intelligence in the current technological scenarios. This is a complete failure of the government, that they have not taken any single step to make us advancement into artificial intelligence and machine learning models. I mean, we talk about localization. Narendra Modi thumping his chest every time, and he says that we should be move forward to self-reliance. Where is the Atmanirbharta? When we are actually depending on the American data centers, we are allowing them to settling their data centers in our own country. They will use our data.
We've got to begin somewhere. I concede your point that infrastructure is one. Infrastructure is one point.
No, infrastructure is one point. Ownership of the data. Like, for example, if I can say that who owns the data generated by a farmer in Bihar or a student in Kerala, the Indian state or the individual, or a Silicon Valley corporation will going to take the ownership of that data.
That is again the negotiating and the leveraging aspect that you're talking about.
And second point, when it comes to the localization part, why has the government softened its stance on data localization? I mean, allowing Indian data to be stored in the US controlled data center, how much is it feasible and how much is it justified for the tech advancements of our country?
Let's bring in other panelists, Mrs. Saxena. Let's bring in other panelists. Let's hear it from them as well. You know, Mr. Dahiya, how do you look at this? And isn't this a credible argument that's coming across from the Congress party representatives and their leaders as well? Can India really lead the AI century when they're relying so heavily on American-made chips, American-dependent cloud agency, American foundation models, and then you've got the AI policy advisor to the White House saying that we want all our allies, India included, to leverage AI based in the United States. The US AI stack, use that, leverage that. Where is our sovereignty in this?
Kabir, I'll answer all the points raised by my friend Kushagra point by point. You know, first of all, I would like to make it clear to the viewers, the irony of this situation is that when Krishnan speaks on the stage, he bats for his country, that is United States. But the biggest irony is that when my friends from Congress speak, they are batting against India. When Krishnan can bat for his country, why can't they? Why are they batting against India?
That's not a credible point, Mr. Dahiya. Let's not make this. I don't want to make this absolutely political.
You cannot dictate like how my statement is going to be. Please let me complete. I'm answering him point by point.
How about you answer my question, Mr. Dahiya? I'm asking you a question. Can India lead the AI century when we so heavily are dependent on AI-based stacks, AI-based model, their computing technology and their computing foundation models? Where does our sovereignty come in? I would be happy to listen in if you would even take the first step. Kanishk would tell us, about Sarvam, the language model. But where is our right step?
I'm telling you what the government is doing. Union Budget 2026 has given tax holiday till 2047. The point that my friend is opposing, that is to bring these foreign cloud players in Indian market. Our data
and to give the free access of the data to these foreign techs.
Sir, Kushagra, let me complete. I was not interjecting in your...
Yeah, Mrs. Saxena, hold on. We'll come back to you. Mr. Dahiya, please complete your thoughts.
See, these global players, when they come to the Indian market, when they set up their data centers over here, that's going to benefit the Indian data infrastructure and the AI infrastructure. Second thing, not just Indian data, but global data will be stored in these data centers, which will be opened by these global players on Indian soil. And the budget allocation for electronic components manufacturing scheme, which was earlier 22,000 crores. And let me remind the viewers, this was started by the Modi government and not by the Congress government for local manufacturing of electronic components, which will help in these data centers, which will help in the electronics manufacturing sector as well. Now, from 22,000 crores, that has been increased to 44,000 crores. That is being done by the Modi government. Second, my friend touched upon, data localization, and he said that, he doesn't know who owns the data. My friend is working in the data sector, then he should know. There is an act called DPDP Act. The DPDP Act is in place, Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023. That is being implemented. Sir, let me complete.
You know what, Mr. Dahiya, listen, Mr. Saxena, hold on. Mr. Saxena.
Kushagra, you don't know about DPDP.
Mr. Dahiya, listen to this. Sridhar Vembu, he is warned about the brain drain.
Will they disclose the source
Mr.
code of the
Vembu calls out the brain drain as well. And Sridhar Vembu, he's a top IT professional, he's a top IT expert, an AI expert as well. Will you say he's batting against India as well? He says that there is brain drain that is costing Indians over here. I'm going to come back to you guys. Let me bring in Kanishk. Kanishk, how do you call this? You know, if tomorrow export controls tighten and we see Washington says, okay, we won't give you the GPUs, is our AI growth going to stop right in its track? That's the question we're trying to understand, Saninder or not.
Every country is trying to globalize and build their power. Now, this is soft power on which countries like China and US are trying to exercise their rights on. They want the global supply chain to be controlled by them, whether it is semiconductors, it's quantum, AI, or whether it's the chips. Now, the key part is that India needs to develop its own capability so that it is not left at the mercy. So tomorrow, if there is any free trade deal which comes and lashes out another 50, 80% penalty, it is left to lurch. So India needs to develop its own capability. And I believe we have done a good job in terms of starting some of its own. If you look at in Vizag, we are setting up a new data center in partnership with Google, which is going to be one of the biggest data centers to be Atmanirbhar. You will see similar data centers being set up throughout the country. It's only a matter of time because we have started a bit late. It doesn't mean that we don't have the intent. If you look at what the government is trying to do, but you require larger public-private partnerships. The funding which the government has announced in terms of cyber R&D or the research or AI research, you would see massive funding. It's only a matter of time. You've got companies like Toyota, you've got companies like Adani who are trying to build out big data centers. So don't underestimate what we are doing. You've got Sarvam, you've got companies like Gyani, which are building chatbots. So just don't look at saying that we are surrendering ourselves. You need to give yourself time. You need to see that.
Exactly. I began the show by saying that we need to do the best that, with the cards that we've been dealt. Mr. Saxena, final 20 seconds that I'm going to give to you. Are we mischaracterizing cooperation as subservience? Sriram Krishnan said leveraging US infrastructure does not mean giving up your strategic autonomy. And I'm again making that analogy. I think we have to do the best with the cards that we have at the moment.
But the thing is this, Kabir, what you are saying and what we are actually witnessing, the failure of the AI summit, when it's about questioning the government, it's not about questioning the country. I'm sorry, Modi is not India and countries above than BJP and Modi. So we will raise important questions when it comes to the, to save the future
but what
of our
about the
young
Sarvan LLM, the first few steps that we have taken?
This is the point that the thing is this. What we are doing, why we are not in a mission mode project when the world is moving ahead through AI and data science.
That's a credible point.
Listen, Kabir. I'm just saying that what we are doing in to settling up the GPU sector and the semiconductor sector in the comparison of NVIDIA and AMD, why we are still dependent on such things. And the thing is this, where we are standing in the AI infrastructure things, and we are still spending the 0.6% of the GDP. Why is government is not allowing?
I've completely run out of time here, Mr. Saxena. I've completely run out of time here. All those points are on record. All those points are on record. Kanishk, many thanks for taking out the time and speaking to us here. Mr. Dahi, always a pleasure to have you with us on our show on In Your Interest. And Mr. Saxena, those points have been taken into account. India built the Aadhaar. We built the UPI as sovereign digital public goods. But artificial intelligence, clearly, like you heard the gentleman, it's different. It's capital intensive, compute heavy, geopolitically sensitive. And the question tonight is simple. Are we building the next technological revolution on our own foundations or on someone else's platform? And clearly, we still don't have an answer on that front. With that, it's a quick wrap on In Your Interest. We'll see you again tomorrow. Don't go anywhere.